He wasn't taking pictures of me, was he? Chris.
Thanks, Styles. So I almost didn't make it to do my set tonight. I went into work this morning at 11 o'clock, looked at my boss, and I told him, man, I feel really under the weather. And he said, you can go home. And when I said I feel really under the weather, that was code speak for I have explosive diarrhea and I don't want to shit at work. So I went and crashed at my uncle's house and decided I'm going to power through it and come down here and do a couple minutes for y'all. So people ask me all the time when I tell them that I do stand-up comedy, they ask where my jokes come from. And I like to tell them broken hymens because I like to think that every time a virgin dies, an offensive joke gets its wings. Now, since baseball's in season, I feel it's my duty to remind you all exactly how much baseball has in common with watching bestiality porn. And that's the fact that, yeah, they both kind of seem fun when you're drunk, but eventually they just get boring. Now, I've noticed something kind of strange. You can be a cliff diver, dive off a cliff, smash your head on the rocks below, and die. And your death will be labeled death by misadventure, even though you're clearly doing something suicidal. But if I die jerking off the belt around my neck, that's called a suicide. That just goes to show you that medical examiners are really weird people. And if you enjoy autoerotic asphyxiation, always keep an anti-suicide note on your person. So, ever since I was young, I was a high-volume masturbator. I mean, I like to masturbate. And when my parents first found this out, they gave me the whole, you'll go blind if you keep doing that speech. And I was like, if I was gonna go blind, wouldn't murderers and horrible people go blind? I don't believe I'm going blind. And then earlier this year, fucking Bill Cosby started going blind. So ever since then, I've been sweating bullets like Wile E. Coyote in front of a fucking chalkboard with an equation on it that only Stephen Hawking could decipher, trying to figure out if I'm going to lose my sight. Now, luckily, it's all good. I can still see. But I have started to develop astigmatism in this eye. So, I don't date much. Haven't dated in, 8 years. The last date I went on ended kind of abruptly. We went out, didn't really hit it off. We're on our way home. She shook the roofie off like it was a fucking Tylenol PM. Chewed through the gag ball like a hungry beaver and then wrapped her duct tape hands around my throat. I had to barrel roll out of the car just to get out of there. Now, the first time I told my friends that, they're like, oh. I was like, what? They're like, you were a rapist? I was like, I wasn't trying to rape anybody. That was obviously an abduction and murder joke. Now, not that I'm above telling a rape joke, but I think if you're gonna tell a rape joke, you should jam it in awkwardly at a really inopportune time to make the crowd feel as uncomfortable as possible. And always do it with a big smile and try and end it with a tune, preferably a children's tune, by saying rape, like rape, 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 rape. I've always hung out with really funny people, and I think that's what drives me to try and be funny. These next two stories are both incidents where my friends made me laugh harder than I thought was possible. First time, I was a young kid. It was actually the first time I ever dropped LSD. Me and my two friends were sitting there, and I didn't know what to expect, and all of a sudden I feel it kind of creeping up my spine. My friends decide they're hungry. They decide they want chicken. I say, okay, I know the place that's got the best chicken in town. They say, give them a call. So I call up, I'm not going to say the business's name, but I call up and say, yeah, I'd like to order some chicken. And I asked my friends, how much do you want? They said, we want an 8-piece. I said, yeah, but can I get an 8-piece chicken dinner? They said, we don't sell it that way. We sell it by the quarter chicken dinner and the 8th chicken dinner. So I tell my friends this. They sell it by the quarter or the 8th chicken dinner. And no shit, my roommate looks right at me and goes, "Who you got on the phone, the motherfucking chicken dealer?" I lost my fucking mind. The other instant was I come home, did some grocery shopping. One of my roommates is out. I go to do cooking later that evening, and I had just bought a new thing of cooking oil. Could not find the thing anywhere. Go into my roommate's room. Lo and behold, there it is, sitting right next to his bed. I'm kind of worried. I ask him, like, "Dude, what's up with the Crisco sitting next to your bed?" And, like, very matter-of-factly, he goes, "I use it to jerk off, dummy." I was like, "Okay, that's kind of weird." He goes, "You can still cook with it." I was like, "No thanks. You can keep your jerk off Crisco." But when this became public knowledge, he had just started dating a black girl, really nice lady. And one of my friends comes over right after they take off to go on a date, and he looks at me very nonchalantly and goes, "You ever think she gets ready to go down on him?" And goes, "Nigga, your dick smells like French fries." So I stated earlier, I don't date. I actually haven't had sex in, 8 years. And I haven't had sex in 8 years because I've calculated that having sex with me increases your odds of going to hell by like 46%. And that leads me to believe that my cock might be a religious artifact. And if a girl looks at it, like her face is gonna melt off like a fucking Nazi at the end of Raiders of the Lost Ark or something. But my penis still lets me know how upset he is. I'll look down at him and he has this angry, pissed off look on his face. So I've been calling him Vigo the Carpathian because that look only comes from being trapped by magic for many, many years. That and he's taken to saying, "Death is but a door, time is but a window, I will be back." So the most disappointed I ever get is hearing somebody say, "Oh, I've got something interesting to tell you." Because every time they say, "Oh, I've got something interesting to tell you," immediately my mind goes to, "Please be a treasure map, please be a treasure map," maybe references to Chester Copper Pop, "Please be a treasure map." It's never a fucking treasure map. It's always something silly like, "Oh, did you know we can make fossil fuels extinct within 15 years if we all just switch to greener energy?" And I was like, really? Aren't fossil fuels already fucking extinct? Isn't that part of becoming a fucking fossil fuel? Alright, my last joke's a little bit racy. It's about my hometown, Dubuque, Iowa. So when I'm on the road and I do sets, people ask me where I come from. I tell them, Dubuque, the most honest place on earth. They say, "How do you know it's the most honest?" And I tell them this story. About 15 years ago, there were two upstanding young gentlemen who were arrested for digging up a corpse. And when they got arrested, they didn't say, "Oh, we were grave robbing" or something like that. They told the cops, "No, we wanted to fuck it." So in their minds, it's better to be known as a necrophiliac than live a life filled with lies where you're just a grave robber. That's fucking Dubuque. That's honesty. Thank you. That's my time, guys.